Hello and welcome to the Swan Song Project Podcast. My name is Ben Buddy Slack and I'm the founder of the Swan Song Project and the host of this podcast. The Swan Song Project is a charity and we help people facing the end of their lives or dealing with a bereavement to write and record their own original songs. We believe in celebrating lives, making memories and leaving legacies. If you'd like to find out more about the charity, you can check out our website, which is swansongproject.co.uk. The podcast features songwriters. Each week I have a different guest on. We talk about one of their songs, tell us about how they wrote it, they share with us a songwriting tip, and they also share with us the songs meaningful to them in some way relating to bereavement. All the previous episodes can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the places you get your podcasts from. Please like and share them and tell your friends about them and things like that. And I hope you enjoy them. This episode features Joe Topping. Okay, today I'm here with Joe Topping. Thanks for joining me, Joe.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking some songwriting with you. For anyone who's new to these podcasts, this is the Swan Song Project Podcast, and we do it in three sections. First, we're going to have one of my guest songs. We're going to talk a little bit about how they wrote it. Section 2, I'll ask my guest to share with us a songwriting tip. And then Section 3, we're going to talk about a song that's meaningful to Joe in some way related to bereavement. So I'll hand you over to Joe and ask you to introduce your first song for us, please.
Okay, well, both my songs today are related to bereavement, actually. And I wrote them at different points on that journey. So this first song is called Throw Me to the Wind. And I wrote this song, my mother passed away, and I wrote this song before she passed away, sometime before she passed away. She suffered with dementia for like 10 years. So I was preparing for her to go for a long time. And so this song, Throw Me to the Wind, is about saying goodbye. And the first verse is when I was younger, when I first went traveling, I went to North America and I bought this huge 5.8 litre pickup truck. It's just a monster, and lived in the back of this thing for nearly a year, traveling around Canada and America. But before I went, my mum was understandably distraught. It's the first time I've properly done anything stupid. I've done plenty of stupid things since, but this is the first sort of what she would, as a parent, would think of as dangerous. I understand that now. I'm a parent. And she kept hiding my passport. Well, it was a joke, I think. And my dad kept finding it for me. And so the first verse is about my mum saying goodbye to me and letting me fly the nest. And then many years later, the second verse is me having to say goodbye to my mum. So that's basically where this song came from, Throw Me to the Wind.
I'm a full-grown man, so mother, don't you shed a tear. I have a thirst to see the world, and I won't see it from here. So I'm leaving today for a far distant land. So hold on to yourself as you let go of my hand. full-grown man, 30 years down the line. My mother's lying in her bed. She says, son, I think I'm dying. So here's my final wish. Commit my body to the fire. Take the ashes to the hills. Climb till you can't get higher. Then throw me to the wind. Oh, I was born to fly like a bird on the wing, under a blue endless sky. Keep me in your heart, the place I know I've always been. But when it's time to let go, let your love show. Throw me to the wind. Unfurl your fingers, 'cause you know I can't stay. As the moment lingers, let me slip away. Then throw me to the wind. I was born to fly like a bird on the wing, under a blue endless sky. Keep me in your heart, the place I know I've always been. When it's time to let go, let your love show. And throw me to the
Okay, brilliant. So that was "Throw Me to the Wind." Yeah, it's a beautiful song, Joe. And yeah, I really like it's really clever the way chorus flips the meaning, doesn't it, of the first one about you going away and throw me to the wind in that way, and then the changed meaning after someone's died.
Yeah.
Did you have that kind of? Did you have the "Throw Me to the Wind" as your starting point, or did you have the themes? Did you know you wanted to link these two stories together, they're going traveling, and then that title came, or was it? How did it work?
I think it was kind of had the whole concept in mind. It might not have been exactly "Throw Me to the Wind," can't quite remember, but yeah, the concept of saying goodbye, and you just trying to look at it from different angles, maybe, and not just a song saying goodbye to my mum, giving it a bit more, maybe how she would have been feeling, how I was feeling, all through our relationship. So yeah, I probably had the line. You normally start with a line or an idea. So "Throw Me to the Wind" might have come from that. But the story just sort of built up from that. So I wrote it when she was on the decline, and so I was remembering, what it was like for me to fly the nest, as it were, many years before. Yeah, it's hard to remember sometimes, because sometimes I write a song and I can't remember writing it. Like, did I write that? But yeah,
I wonder if that one, like, if that was in a difficult time, you say with mum's decline, whether that affects the memories of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a long decline. Dementia's so cruel. But,
Yeah.
it was like we said goodbye to mum almost years before she went, because in the last couple of years she didn't know who we were. And then when she did go, it was, you'd think you'd be prepared for it, but you're not. It's still a crazy shock. And me and my brother were there by her side when she went, which was lovely. We were very lucky to have had that. But, yeah, so it was. I wrote it probably a couple of years before she passed away, which is maybe a bit strange. But we just felt like we were saying goodbye. It was a long goodbye. There's another song in there, isn't it? The Long Goodbye.
Right, yeah.
I've written enough songs about my mum.
Yeah, I can sympathise completely with you. That was my grandma. Was a long sufferer of dementia and had a similar thing. It probably wasn't as long as it sounds like yours was, but that's it. Similar, things of feeling like you're saying goodbye for quite a long time, and a long time where she doesn't really know who you are, and then that exact thing of feeling like I was prepared for it, but then it was still really rough when it happens, isn't it?
Yeah, and because it's like she was sort of locked into it, sort of a prisoner of her own body, I guess. So the chorus is sort of almost, I guess it's like my hope that she was able to go free in a way, and I guess that's a lot of where the chorus comes from there. Just like I was when I was going traveling, just going free. It's the same sort of idea, but in a kind of a different context, I guess.
A different setting, yeah. Yeah, it's a powerful song. Did you play it for your mum at all?
No, she never really. She wasn't. It would have felt weird, and she at that point she wasn't quite with it anyway. My mum loved. I used to go and play the banjo to her though, or play guitar and sing to her. But it didn't really get much. I mean, music can be such a great healer, especially with dementia sufferers. But at that point, my mum was a bit too far gone. I don't know whether there was anything going on inside or not. But it was tough.
Yeah, it sounds it. But yeah, well done for that. Did you find the process? So you mentioned you've written a couple of songs, and we're going to listen to one of the other ones a bit later on in this show. Did you find was this the first one you wrote about your mum's passing then? And
so this was the first one. Yeah. The other two were pretty soon after.
Okay. Pretty soon after she died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you find writing this one in terms of was it therapeutic at the time to be doing it? And did it feel different to writing your other songs?
Yeah. I think this one was probably. It was more. This one was maybe hard. This was less cathartic, maybe, because it was predicting a pain that was coming. Whereas the ones after were probably more cathartic because it was coming to terms with what had happened. So yeah, it is a different feeling, I think.
Do you have a feeling of closure with the ones afterwards that you might not have got with one before?
Yeah, because as I say, once my mum passed away, I felt like she wasn't suffering anymore, which was a big deal. Whereas with Throw Me to the Wind, it was like, it feels horrible to be wishing for the end to come, and you feel guilty for wishing that, but it's also natural because you don't want to see your loved ones suffering in such a way. So that was it was mixed feelings.
Yeah.
With Throw Me to the Wind. Whereas the other two, it was more like, okay, I can finally grieve for a start, and hopefully my mum is now at peace. She's not suffering anymore. So yeah, it was a very different feeling with those, with writing from the two different sides of it.
Yeah, and it sounds like so yeah, I mean, well done for doing it, because the more we've talked about it, the more kind of complex themes there were in this Throw Me to the Wind song, and so to balance the different elements of it and the emotional situation when writing it, like, you did a great job with it. And then to come out of a song do you play the song much? I mean, obviously we're not in gigging times now, but like when you were gigging, would it be a song that you'd play regularly?
Yeah. Quite a lot of people like that song and request it quite often. It's quite morbid. Quite a few people have requested that they want it sung at their funerals. Not that they're ill or anything, but
it's good to plan ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's nice. That's an honour, isn't it?
It is absolutely. It would be an absolute honour. But yeah, hopefully it also makes you feel kind of strange when you're talking to people. They're planning their own funerals when they're perfectly fine. Yeah, that's just being organised for you.
Yeah. How do you find performing it? Do you like, or has that changed over time? How long ago was it that you wrote it?
I think it must be about. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a good few years. My mum passed away. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? I don't know. The last year, I understand, it's a bit of a blur. So my concept of time has skewed. It must be nearly 3 years now, I guess. So before that, yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Do you find, like, was it one of them songs that I always find with particularly emotional songs that the first time or the first couple of times are usually quite difficult, but then you get to that stage where it's kind of, like you found the way of performing it, where it kind of settles in the set with your other songs. Did you find that with that, or was it?
Yeah, it's a balance with me, because I don't want to just perform like almost like a paint by numbers thing. I do want to inhabit the song and put real meaning behind it. So it's a balance between connecting emotionally and holding it together, not breaking down. So yeah, I'm pretty good at finding that happy medium. So I do feel it when I'm singing, but it's kind of in a good way now, because of course I'm on the other side. So now the chorus and the sentiment behind it kind of almost falls into the same category as the other ones now, that she's at peace. But when I wrote it, it was obviously a bit more painful. But
I'm not that familiar with some of your other stuff, but what kind of are these kind of themes that I mean, obviously not writing always writing songs about your mum, but like, do you tend to write about quite emotional themes more generally in your work as well?
Yeah, I do. I must admit, I do love a sad song.
Yeah,
because generally I'm a really happy person, and I think it balances me out. I just love a sad song. I love songs that move you emotionally. Some people just can't stand sad songs. They can't deal with it. They just want to hear happy songs. I'm not one of them. I love happy songs, but I love anything that moves me emotionally, and quite often it's a sad song. So I like country music. So I've always been basically a folk musician, folk Americana. I love blues music, so it ties in with that as well.
It's funny, it's a common thing, like with people who, like, I'd say I'm kind of the same in a way that I'm very drawn towards, like, yeah, blues is a big part of my upbringing, and drawn towards sad songs and write a lot of sad songs, but would generally class myself as a very jolly kind of guy. And it's quite a common thing, isn't it? You get a lot of metalheads, don't you? Like into all the like death metal stuff, but then you meet when they're just super smiley, jolly people.
Just sweet people, yeah. I know. Yeah, it's funny. And then you find the people who just want to listen to happy songs are often depressed. That's why you just want to listen to happy songs, which is understandable. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah,
all sorts.
Yeah, definitely. Music works in funny ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I like story songs. I like songs that tell a story. So it might not necessarily be my story. So I might write a song. I've written murder ballads before, or songs about people that lived a long time ago and their story, or it's just fun for me. Whether it is for anyone else, I've no idea.
Do you have any kind of like go-to methods for inspiration? Like, is it just what comes to mind, or do you like, hear old stories that you like, or is there any like particular methods that you use for your inspiration?
Yeah, I like reading a lot. When I've got time to do it. I love reading. So I will often, something might come up in a book, just a line. I might even read the line wrong, or hear a line in the radio wrong or something, and it will spark something. I just got to write it down and then forget about it and come back to it later. And other times, like the murder ballad I told you about, it was about the infamous murderers in Edinburgh, Burke and Hare. And I was visiting a museum. I was playing up in Edinburgh and visited, I think it's the Surgeons Museum. It's a really gory museum of like Victorian surgeon stuff where they, used to saw people up and stuff. And there was a thing about Burke and Hare there. And I just started reading about them and decided to write a song about them. So yeah, it can come from anywhere. Other times it's people I've met and their stories that I've written about, or it'll be my own adventures. I like to have adventures in order to get inspiration. So me going to America to live in a pickup truck was one of those. I knew I wanted to be a songwriter, but I didn't have much to write about. So I just went traveling, got some life experience. And then another time I walked across America, which was a bit of a daft thing. down America, from Chicago to New Orleans.
Wow, how far is that?
The way I did it was about 1,400 miles.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Nice. How long did that take you?
With a guitar on my back. It took 3 months. So it's going through all these great music cities, Chicago, St. Louis, over to Nashville, Memphis, through the Mississippi Delta to get to New Orleans. And it was, actually, most of that was incredibly boring, I've got to admit. Cotton fields and cornfields go by really slowly when you're on foot, it turns out. And there's a lot. But the cities and the little towns, I got a lot of inspiration, and the characters I meet. That was great for writing.
Yeah. Whenever you hear those kind of stories, those epic kind of trails, you think, oh, that would be amazing. What an exciting experience that would be. But then, you're right, that lot of it would just be walking by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I got blisters where, I don't even want to tell you about.
I mean, it would be a good combination for songwriting, I guess, if you've got the really interesting experience, like say in the villages and the places where you're meeting people, and then you've got a lot of time by yourself to let the ideas percolate. And
exactly, yeah, a lot of time. but you know, sometimes you'd be aiming for somewhere, a town on a map that you've got, and you get there and the town isn't there anymore. It's literally a ghost town, and everyone's left, and there's just these raggedy old buildings and no one there. So you don't get that in this country, really. So it's strange, but it's disheartening when you're looking for water at that point.
Jeez, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like some experiences.
Yeah, it was good. It was quite a while ago. It was after Hurricane Katrina. It was a year after Hurricane Katrina, so I did it to try and raise some money for musicians charity down in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
So when I got to New Orleans, I was marched into town by a second line brass band, which was amazing. It was great. Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, that was something you won't forget.
Yeah, New Orleans is amazing. I loved that.
Yeah, I've never been, but I'd love to get to America at some point and go to all those places.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How are you finding
the blues?
Yeah. How are you finding writing at the moment then, with such little exposure to experience?
It's really tough because I've been homeschooling the boys. I've got two boys, Jack and Charlie. So that's just been taking up all my time right now and all my energy. Even once school's finished, I just feel wiped out and stressed. And so I might in the evening come up and play guitar, but it's just I just feel like we need to get through this at the moment. And kids back to school before I can. I never put any pressure on myself for writing songs.
That's good then.
Because I will just write rubbish in that case. So I tend to wait. I'm probably not as prolific as a lot of other people because I don't treat it like a job. Maybe I should, but I just kind of wait for the inspiration to hit and don't worry about it if it doesn't.
Yeah.
So at the moment it hasn't been, because I've just been. I write a whole song about homeschooling hell after it's all over.
That'd be sad song there. Yeah.
I'm too close to it right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I'm struggling. I'm doing little bits of writing myself, but not much. And again, part of it is similar things of just feeling this kind of lockdown fatigue. And part of it's not having the same inspiration of going out and meeting people and doing stuff. But a big one for me is the not performing them. That, like, on one of the podcasts last week, sorry, to Michael Messer, when we were talking about music, and he said something about, music's now something that I'm doing in a room by myself, which isn't what it was ever to be, really. And that was really kind of hit me of like, I never got into music to play by myself in my garage. I got into music to play with people and to play in front of people and that kind of stuff, and it just feels very different. So for me, like, writing a song now, even though I'm a big advocate for the therapeutic benefits of writing songs and just for the mental health benefits of it and that stuff, but there's a big part of me that does it to share it with people and to play it in front of people. And when I'm not doing that, it's like I don't feel the same motivation. I used to be like, I want to get this song finished because we've got this gig at this place. I want to share it there. I want to play it there.
It's almost like a deadline.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I've been doing Facebook Live concerts, but it's not the same playing to the phone, is it? I'm getting used to it, but it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
It is nice. The only way you can sort of connect to people, though, because you can read the messages and interact with people, and it's nice that way. But it's not the same.
It's definitely better than nothing at all. But it's I think those first gigs back are going to be some special experiences.
Oh yeah. I think people will hopefully be hungry for it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Although it's probably quite hard to get a gig now. All of the ones that got postponed for the last 18 months are all going to be the first ones to get back in.
There's going to be gigs 7 nights a week, and there'll be all the weddings that people are catching up on, and all the new weddings. It's going to be a busy time. Are you doing regular live streams? Have you got like a set time you do them, or you just do them every now and then? I'll tag your pages in the post anyway if people are watching
great.
this, want to check things out. But
I was doing them regularly, the Thursday nights. I haven't been doing them the last few weeks because I've been really busy. But I try and do them fairly regularly.
Cool.
At one point I was doing them every week, but just been so busy lately, and sometimes after a day of homeschooling, it's just like, I just can't.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Good stuff. So let's move into section 2 now, shall we? This is, I guess, for a songwriting tip. So what would your tip be for us, Joe?
It's probably something you've heard before, but the thing that I always try and keep in mind when I'm writing a song, the whole show don't tell thing, I'm sure people have mentioned before. So I'm not in the school of songwriting that I don't like those abstract songs that you hear it and you don't immediately know what the song is about. I think that's too easy to hide behind. I do love listening to some of that. Some of my favorite artists. I mean, some of Bob Dylan's stuff, I have no idea what he's on about.
Yeah.
But I like it to be understandable, but poetic at the same time. So sometimes you hear an abstract song and you might ask the songwriter, well, what does that mean? And they might say, well, it means whatever you want it to mean, man. I don't like that. I can't get on board with that. Because I like it to have a simple meaning, but not so simple that anyone could write it. It's got to be something from inside you, from your unique point of view. So it's coming at the song from a different angle, and put it in a way that no one's heard before, or try to. Because there's a million songs about love. So if you're writing a song about love, just saying I love you it's too easy and has been done a million times. You've got to find a backdoor, a way round to come at it from an interesting, weird angle even. Which I guess would bring us on to the last song that we're going to play later, because that is a weird song. It's got a weird title and comes from a weird angle, and that's kind of what I try and do.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's really good advice. And I get what you mean about there's kind of like there's the message, isn't there? There's like what the song's about, what you want to say, and like you don't want to just say that, because that's you say that's not artistic, that's just something. And then there's another level where this is completely lost in whatever, and it's that kind of sweet spot in the middle that you're aiming for, of where it's like you still know what it is, but it's poetic and it hits you in a slightly different way.
Like the song Eleanor Rigby. And they're talking about Eleanor Rigby picking up rice after a wedding. They could have just said Eleanor Rigby was a really lonely woman. They didn't. They showed you how lonely she was with just the picture and the imagery that they put in that song, and that's genius. That's great.
Yeah. Do you have any tips or methods of how you do that? Like if you've got know something that you want to say, do you have a process for showing it rather than telling it?
Know what you want to say, and then just think about it. Just go for a walk, let it marinate in your head, and wait for an angle to reveal itself to you. And write a load of nonsense about, even if it's just one thing that you want to say, fill a page with nonsense about it. Just keep writing, No one else is going to see it. No one else is going to look at it. Don't feel embarrassed. Just write rubbish. Don't be afraid, because then just that one little thing will think, oh yeah, I could do it this way. I could do it that way. Yeah, don't be afraid to write rubbish would be a great tip.
Yeah.
Just write.
Yeah, I like it. Really good. It's funny as well. It's like the songs that, we're talking about these songs where you're not sure what they're about, or that, like, again, I feel there's levels to that, where there's some songs that are just completely undecipherable, and some where you have these ones where, like, you feel like it's definitely about something important,
Yeah.
but it's very difficult to put your finger on what it is.
No.
There's sorry.
Go ahead.
There's a band called the Handsome Family. Do you know them?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I think they're just amazing. I love some of their songs. Have you heard the song "The Bottomless Hole"?
No.
It's it's one of my favorites of theirs, and it's one of them songs where, like, so it's a metaphorical song about this hole in the backyard that they think is bottomless. They're throwing stuff down and never heard anything at the bottom. And then the guy makes himself a little rig system, with a bucket and stuff that he's going to go down in this hole and investigate. And he gets down to the end of his rope, and he can't. He's still not at the bottom. He's at the end of his rope, so he decides to cut the rope and fall. And then the last bit of the song is, "And still I am there falling down in this evil pit, but until I hit the bottom, I won't believe it's bottomless." And that last line, it's just like years and years I've been playing that song and listening to it, and I've just been like, and I've thought about it so many different ways of what the hole is and things like that. But that last line, I'm like, until I hit the bottom, I won't believe it's bottomless. Like, I'm sure that means something really profound, but it might not. It might be nonsense. You might just be like, that'll do.
Well, that's great. It's just, for me, it's hard to know who's good at that, writing that sort of song, and who isn't.
Yeah,
that sounds great, and it's thought provoking, and it instills like feelings in you. For me, it's like painting. The different schools of painting, like there's realism, impressionism, modern art. For me, like that kind of songwriting is like modern art. I'm not sure, are they really good at that, or have they just thrown a load of paint and said it means this? So I know that some people are brilliant at it and it's genius. I just can't understand it sometimes. So
yeah, I like the way you put it.
I really enjoy that. I can really enjoy the music, or I can really enjoy that piece of art. But sometimes it's too easy for people who aren't good at it to hide behind it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, just string random words together. Yeah, I really like the way you put it then, of the it's like the emotional reaction you feel to something, and kind of having a trust in that in a way. Because I guess the way I've always thought about it is that certain artists that you kind of trust, and like the Hanson Family ones for me, where they're like that, because I've heard so many of their songs that I know are so cleverly written and so thoughtfully written that I don't think they're just. I think they have thought about that. But then sometimes when you come across an artist that you don't know anything about, you just either get that feeling or you don't, of like, this is just nonsense, or this is something what there is more to it, but I'm not quite grasping it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the way, I remember someone else saying to me about that with art, of that that's just a way to think about art, of whether it hits you in a way or whether it's just splotches. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. So we'll move on to section 3 now, shall we? Talk about the next song. So this is where I ask my guests to share a song that's meaningful in some way related to bereavement. So we've talked about one song already, but we've got another one of Joe's about bereavement. Do you want to introduce this one for us, Joe?
Sure. So this is the one with the weird title. It's called "Start With Your Sock Drawer," and it was basically after Mum passed away. I was wondering what her advice to me would be to get through the grief. And growing up, she was always telling me to tidy my room. So I thought maybe she'd still be doing that. So it's just about really just taking those first little steps to make you feel better or normal. You know, getting up, making your bed in the morning, putting one foot in front of the other, tiny little baby steps, and of course you can sort your sock drawer out. It's one of those, or sort your cupboards out. You know, it sounds mundane and stupid, but if you let things slide and let things go, then you can feel worse. So it's just sort of carrying on, really, and gradually time will hopefully make things easier. So yeah, start with your sock drawer.
Oh, mother, I'm missing you today. There's clouds on the horizon and the black dog's on his way. I miss the way you always knew the perfect words to say to make it better. But oh, mother, how do you mend a broken heart when all the bricks that built your life have just fallen apart? If I close my eyes, I hear your voice tell me where to start to put it back together. So you'd say, start with your sock drawer, lay them all out on the floor, throw out all the ones with holes, you won't need them anymore. Put them all back in neat rows, just the ones you like to wear. Start with your sock drawer, just take it from there. So, mother, I've been taking your advice, and the sorrow melts away in time like gently thawing ice. Letting go of what weighs you down sure feels nice. Now I'm like a feather. So start with your sock drawer, lay them all out on the floor, throw out all the ones with holes, you won't need them anymore. Put them all back in neat rows, just the ones you like to wear. Start with your sock drawer, just take it from there. Short steps further from the pain. Deep breaths, short steps closer to feeling whole again. So start with your sock drawer, lay them all out on the floor, throw out all the ones with holes, you won't need them anymore. Put them all back in neat rows, just the ones you like to wear. Start with your sock drawer, just take it from there. You start with your sock drawer, just take it from there.
Great stuff. That was Start With Your Sock Drawer by Joe Topping. Yeah, it's a really good song. I really like it. And it's, and it's a great message. It's a great piece of advice, isn't it? Of the focus on those little tasks. And I think it's something that kind of connects with songwriting in a way as well. A lot of the time you can try and dream up like a big song that you're going to do, whereas the best thing to do is to just kind of write and just, focus on the details and then let the big thing work itself out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those songs I was in a bit of a haze. I can't almost remember writing this one either. But yeah, this was definitely a cathartic one, and I could feel my mum in the song, imagining what she would be saying to me. Yeah, so this one means a lot to me. But I was writing this song purely for myself. I didn't think anyone would want to hear about a song about socks. But weirdly, people have connected to it as well and got my point.
Yeah.
Nice, but I didn't expect it to. Yeah, singing about socks.
It's a great example of what we were just talking about, isn't it? Of like, the way you tell the story, the way you get your message across can be in many different ways, and it might be a song about a sock drawer.
Yeah, and I did sort my sock drawer out as well, and there were socks in there that I haven't worn in years or had holes in. I was like, why do I have to rummage through my sock drawer every time to find the ones I want? So yeah, anyway.
Do you keep, is that an important thing for you now, keeping your sock drawer nice and tidy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and my wife, minimalism as well. Like I'm a messy man, but my wife got into stuff on Instagram, telling you how to pack your drawers, roll up your clothes,
roll up stuff. Yeah,
yeah. So you can always see it's not like you have to look through things. You can see everything that's in your drawer if you roll it all up. Yeah, it's genius.
Yeah, when we moved in here, Emily was telling me the same thing. She was being taught how to put your clothes away. But I was like, oh, this is great, actually. You can roll them up and put them
in. It works. Yeah.
Yeah, never too old to learn something new, are you? Yeah. Good stuff, Joe. Yeah, thanks a lot for your time. It's really nice to talk to you.
Oh, it's very welcome. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, and I'll put all your links in the description. Have you got anything else coming up that you want to mention?
No. Oh well, I'm doing The Voice at the moment, so you can watch that on telly. It's one of these lockdown things, not something I would ever normally do, but yeah, I was bored during lockdown and was looking for one of these adventures,
Yeah, it's a great way of finding one.
Yeah, I like doing things that scare me, because I think you learn a lot from doing things that are out of your comfort zone. So this was way out of my comfort zone, and I didn't think I'd get anywhere, but yeah, I've managed to get to the semi-finals now, so happy days. And most importantly, it gets me out of the house.
Legitimate reason to leave the house,
which is great. Yeah. But I'll also be doing more live streams on my Facebook. Might do one this Thursday. I don't know when this is going out, but yeah, Thursdays, keep your eye out. Have a look at my music page, Joe Topping Music, and yeah.
Great stuff. And people can find your voice performances on YouTube, aren't they, if they've not caught them on the live show. So you did Forever Young, didn't you, on the first one, which is
I saw you
all-time favourite of mine.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, it's a great song, yeah.
I think I'm going to get with the May Your Heart Always Be Joyful, May Your Song Always Be Sung tattooed on me. That's my plan for my next lyric tattoo. That lyric just makes me smile every time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful song. But yeah, well done with it also. Yeah, when's the semi-final go
out? Well, as we're talking now, there's another round of battles, and then I think it'll be the semi-finals. So not long.
Yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, I don't expect to get anywhere after that. I think I've managed to blag my way through this part. It's been great.
Yeah, really well done with it, Joe. It's great to see. Yeah, things are going well for you, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you performing in person before too long.
I hope so.
When the world opens up again.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. It's lovely speaking to you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks a lot, Joe. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll be back with another episode soon.